That is what's up. So, yes, I'm really glad you could join us tonight. I'm a really big fan. I was so excited all week. I'm really excited to have you on and, talk about all the.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And, all the goodness you got, going on right now. So, first off, let's talk about, I know you come from a musical background. I know, I read, everyone in your family pretty much, is into music. So this is something that, and you started at an early age, So is this something that you knew you always wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think creatively, I excelled really at a young age. I was able to not only make the music myself, but I was able to kind of stir it up in the room and have anyone who was around me. I'd get them, I'd make them play something or try to, include everybody, try to get everybody jamming. You know what I mean? So I just had that kind of charisma at a really young age, and I remember, every year just kind of getting better and better and having my little tools kind of getting better. My little toys became actual equipment, and then, the equipment got better, as time went on. And so I just got more serious about it, and as time went on, I feel like you progress at something that you put your time and effort into. Like I was playing keyboards while the other kids were playing a lot of sports and things like that. I was inside trying to learn how to play my drum machine and record beats and all that, back in the 80s.
Yeah, the 80s was pop, so,
Yeah, for sure. Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, most man. Definitely. So you, now, it sounds like, like I said, you've been doing this all your life. Is there anything else that, if you weren't doing music, what else would you want to do?
Well, I mean, I've always kind of been a people person in terms of, like, just being able to sort of relate to people and have, I just feel like I've always kind of been just a kind of very, very open-minded person. So I think I can see myself really kind of doing anything socially, with people, you know what I mean, something. But, I mean, I've never really put too much thought in that because my movement and my whole kind of purpose has always been music, so it's kind of hard to imagine,
Yeah.
But I mean, I think of what I do, half of what I do is kind of relating to people and also being able to, allow people to relate to me, That's part of it,
Yeah, and that's a gift because I can definitely tell that, with you, you really just cool and down to earth and just, like the name of your album, man. It's just a comfortable swag, and I'm really feeling that. Tell us.
Thank you.
I think it's pretty. You're welcome. I think it's pretty obvious, why you chose that title.
Oh man, that's what's up. I appreciate that. That's a huge compliment. I'm hoping that people will pick up the, that element of it, because that's really sort of the mood of the album. It's comfort music, It's the way I look at it. A lot of people say, comfort food. They have that sort of like that word, for food. I look at it like music. This is the comfort music. This is that music that's not gonna, bang you too hard over your head. At least not in a bad way. At least not in a bad way. It may bang you on your head in other ways. Like something like that. You know what I mean? But it's not really the type of record that you can put on and really and skip over a bunch of stuff like there's a lot of filler. I feel like every song really has a purpose and has a sort of zone that you can kind of chill out and just kind of bob your head to, or make you think a little bit, make you feel. That's the most importantly. I want people to feel. I want people to feel it, good when they listen to my music. comfortable. So
it is. It really is, and I'm like no lie, all day, pretty much. And since I first heard the song, Only One, I've been playing it over and over and repeat. Like, it's one of those joints, you know, what was it?
that one right there is special because that was the last song that I did for this album. And you know, it's sort of like one of those things where you've put so much effort into something that you feel like there's no way you can top everything that you've done. But then when you just give it time and you just kind of stop really obsessing about the making of the album and you just go back to the basics, it's really amazing to just, you know, it's like that. It's like with Pleasures You Like, my third album, I did that with Don't Talk. That was like the last song that I did for the album that no one really saw coming. It just kind of came out of nowhere, and we had to mix and master it really quickly and put it out. It was like the movement that just became the movement, you know, right away. And that it's like I love having that kind of happen. You know, it's like a surprise joint because I was always under the impression that Comfortable Swag was going to be the first single and the first video, and really, for all practical purposes, it was. But in terms of what we actually did and what we finished, you know, we actually did Comfortable Swag first, and then we did Only One. And Only One actually was, you know, at the very end, like I said, you know, it was the last joint I did, and that was just me in the studio, just kind of really going in. Like I like that song because it kind of has a darker element to it, but it's very sensual and it's very intimate. It's a very intimate record. And these days, I think that's what a lot of the music is missing from the vibe that I'm hearing out there in the music is sort of the intimacy. I hear the party element. I hear the love, the sexual element of it, you know. But in terms of the intimacy is lacking right now, you know. So I think it's just a matter of mood and really what your own personal opinion is. I mean, this is my way of kind of giving you my take on 2012 and what the music, I feel like how I'm going to sound in 2012. This is, you know, I produced that joint, Only One. You know, it's my own personal. It's my own personal lyrics and everything. So all the sound selection, everything, you know, it goes back to my Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis roots and Prince roots, you know, and going back to almost like the first songs that were on my first demo, you know, or even before Bonafide, like the songs that I got signed with. It was really just, it's really about like less is more kind of sometimes, you know, and so that's what's up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right on point. Yeah, I mean the whole vibe of it. You know, absolutely right. It's just that's what I get from it is you know, and that's the Jon B. What was that?
The sentiment is like the sentiment of the record as far as, you know, me saying Only One. I think a lot of people can relate to that in a lot of different senses, because if you're in a relationship, then you know what it is to sort of claim that person without claiming them. Like you're letting them know, like, you know why there's only one me, you know. And at the same time, you can not be in a relationship and sort of be just and have an experience. And that experience itself, you know, is relatable, you know, as far as the song and being applied to that as well. You know, I left it very open, you know. In no way in the song is it like, you know, because it's kind of a role-playing record where I'm talking about, hey, let's just imagine, you know, even though we both, you know, it may be different or it may be this, you know, I'm playing on people's heartstrings as far as just like the whole idea of role playing and like, you know, these days you gotta reinvent it, man. You know, if you've been with somebody for a while, you know, you gotta reinvent it. You gotta keep it, you know, keep it special, keep it, you know. So that's what this record is. It's like it's reassuring that person that you know.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere, you know. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it kind of means a lot for me too, because with my fans and how, you know, how loyal the fans have been, that how loyal, you know, and just how much love I've received, you know, just you know, it's unexplainable, you know. So it just really makes me feel like I had to kind of almost speak on that in some sort of way and reassure everyone, like, this is what I do, so don't ever doubt or ask, you know, where is Jon B? Where, you know, what is he doing now? Like, that's not a question you have to worry about.
Right.
As long as I have breath in my, you know, as long as God gives me breath in another day, I want to be doing this music, you know, and this is the way that I do it. And it's like, you know, there's only one, you know,
there's only one you. There's only one.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's like snowflakes, man. You know what I mean? Like, everyone is different. As much as we can be alike and draw our comparisons and be like, oh yeah, you know, this person sounds like this, or they kind of have the same vibe or whatever. There is no one that, you know, can have my exact style just as well as I can have their own style. So, you know, it's kind of a statement. So.
Yeah, it's true, and you know, it's like when you talk about the intimacy and bringing that back, you know, that is what we need. Back in the day, you know, in the 70s, it was about love, and the music was about love. It wasn't so much about sex or, you know what I'm saying, all this other stuff. And this song right here, man, it's just, oh man, I can't even. It really does bring that vibe, you know, and I think any couple, anybody, you know what I'm saying, put it on and it's going to take you there. And that's, you know, that's what a real artist
I grew
does.
up off the good, I grew up off the really amazing R&B, like being a fan. Of course, you know, everyone knows I'm a fan of Babyface and all that, but in another genre of, well, the same genre but just different cats was Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Like, people, they don't get their props, like, at least, I mean, I knew they were getting their props in the 80s and early 90s and stuff, but they haven't really gotten their props for a long time, and I feel like they kind of shaped R&B music in so many ways. I mean, everything from the hits that they made with the drum sounds that they used to the kind of chords they played, and that they made, like, they made their thing, you know, with artists like Janet Jackson and, you know, SOS Band and Alexander O'Neal and Sherelle and all these different, you know, amazing R&B groups and artists. And I paid attention to all that stuff. So, you know, if you listen to the chords that I used, that kind of like the open chords on those, on Only One, and I also used the same kind of keyboard sounds, so that Jam and Lewis, they would kind of get a kick if they heard it. I'm sure they would get a kick out of hearing the old Lindrum. I brought out the old Lindrum machine from back in the day. You know, that they used on all the Roger, and they used on, you know, just, I mean, everything. Jam and Lewis used it on everything. But I mean, you know it from like Can You Stand the Rain, New Edition, to, I mean, just everything. You know, it's kind of like the 808s. You hear it on everything. You know? But yes, it was nice to go back to sort of like those old elements, those old vintage elements, and bring those back in the song, but still have sort of a modern day. You know, and I also have to big up the homie 40 Shabib for being an influence on that record too, because, you know, I'm a huge Drake fan, you know, and 40 fan as well. Everything that he does is, you know, everything that really is encompassed with their music and what's going on with what they're doing. I really have a lot of respect for what they're doing. And, you know, it was towards the latter part of the album that I was like really peeping what was going on as far as you know, as far as the type of music that they were producing and stuff. And so I was hearing like some filtering kind of things that I felt like were really dope. And so that's kind of like what sparked my idea on the verses to kind of go into this filter element, like as far as the track, like filtering the track down so you can really hear the vocals And that's sort of like a Drake influence, you know what I mean? And 40, you know, everything they got going on. Trey Songz as well is a huge influence right now. I was paying attention to the way he does his ballads as well. You know, it's a lot of I really have a lot of respect for a lot of today's R&B because it's allowed me to see what the youth take is. You know, how sometimes less is more. You know, it's like simplicity. You know, and a lot of times you know, you have all this emotion. You want to go about the most complex way of, like, just expressing yourself, and really sometimes you have to slow down. You just have to really listen and, you know, let it flow. And, you know, I love any artist that's really just allowing it to flow like that. And, you know, it's definitely coming out in the influence as far as my music. And you can definitely hear how an artist like Tank, you know, has influenced me over the years, and vocally, you know, and just, you know, there's so many. I'm the kind of dude where I'm not shy to admit my influences and say, you know, hey, I got an idea, this is where it stems from, and because it's always more interesting like that, you know. I feel like for you guys, the fans, you know, to kind of hear, you know, something broken down, like, oh, okay, I get it now, you know what I mean? Like pieces of the puzzle, so.
Yeah, you're right. It is sometimes that, you know, it's that pure sincerity that, you know, that comes through, that, you know, we can really, really feel it. And sometimes you don't need all the extra stuff. And I feel that on this joint right here. I wanna play it, but, you know, I know we don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time.
We can take our time, though. We can take our time.
All right. That's what's up. Let me get this joint on real quick, you know, for the people. I got to let them hear it. I hope y'all already heard it. If you haven't, go to jonbworld.com. It's on iTunes, Amazon, you know what I'm saying? Just Google it. Y'all make sure y'all go get that. I'm definitely going to get mine. Hopefully I can get it autographed.
Oh, without a doubt. I got you.
That's what's up. So, yeah, check this out right here. Comfortable Swag, man. Y'all know the one and only one, Jon B. Navy Radio. Yeah. it is Jon B, only one. Yeah, that was my part right there. I love that. You know, it's always at one point in the song, part of the song, you'd be like, yeah. That's my journey.
Right on.
Yes, love it. So, all right, now, I know that you are now on your own label. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Congratulations, because that's a big move. That's not easy.
No, not at all. But the thing that makes it all, possible is just the support that y'all give me. The fans. It's the listeners. The people out there that are coming to the shows. That are, downloading the album. Or ordering a physical CD off my website. It's come down to the closeness of the fans, the proximity between me and the fans is so small now because of the ability to be able to communicate like we have now. And, I really, really encourage everybody to, tweet me, at official Jon B, as far as my Twitter account, all that, as far as Facebook, same thing. JonBWorld.com, obviously, with that, with all that being said, it's just, it's a beautiful time right now, to be able to be, an entrepreneur, to be, not only in charge of my own destiny, but, as far as being able to help others too, like some of the greatest acts in the business, I'm able to, I have a booking agency with my wife, and, we book not only for myself, but just for many, many artists, and it's nice to be able to share the love out there, that people have for music in general, for R&B, for hip-hop, for, everything. And so, that being said, man, it's just, it's, I got to give it up to all the promoters, all the fans, especially, for wanting to see this music live and for still caring to see me live, and saying, hey, I want to see what's up with Jon B, because the bottom line is when the interest leaves, then, obviously it's, you can only sell so many records now. I mean, I don't even know if they still press up CDs. I know if they do, they do a limited amount, and, it's a beautiful thing, man. My first official independent release, Comfortable Swag, so my 7th album, but,
wow.
It's 17 years in the game, so it's only right,
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But it's, when it's real like that, especially for us, the fans, I think you're always going to have a place in our hearts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always going to be, we're always going to be excited to see what you got coming out because it's always genuine. So I feel
I'm
like,
grateful.
Yeah,
I'm in a really good place right now, as far as my life, it's a great time to be able to share artistically what I have going on, because you have different parts of your life, different phases in your life that you go through. Sometimes they're up, sometimes it's bad, sometimes you're not really, rocking how you want to be, and right now is just a really focused time, It's comfortable swag time, man. It's showtime, as my man says. It's showtime. So I'm out there. I'm out every weekend doing my thing. Thank God I'm blessed to be able to have so many shows, going on right now. Every weekend I'm in a different state. Sometimes I'm in multiple states, and I'm going to Australia soon. I'm going to go to the UK soon. So I'm international as well. I mean, I've been doing gigs all around the world for the last, just since you haven't seen me, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't stop, man. It does not stop, so.
That's why I hate to say, that you coming back in the game, because I always feel like, artists like yourself, you never really, left. It's just that we haven't seen you on TV or we haven't, really heard any new music, but that doesn't mean you're not doing anything,
Well, also there's a lot of new artists too, that's the thing. Like, people, forget, that it's been 10 years since, at least since I've had a record that has really, really been prominent on the radio, you know. So it's like, you know, but that has no reflection on the quality of music that I make. And that's one thing about my fans that I know that they know about me is like they buy a Jon B album, you know, they're walking away with that, you know, fulfilled. They don't feel like, oh man, I wish it was better, or you know, it could have been better. That kind of vibe, you know. It's like, nah, I know what I'm gonna get. This guy really takes his music serious. It's not because these days, you know, I think people really see deeper than just the, you know, the surface level of everything. Since everything is so blown up, that once in a while you'll have something that comes along that isn't quite as on the radar. But but it may be one song or a couple songs or whatever that strikes your interest, and then you go and you hear the whole album. You're like, man, it really is dope. I really like this. You know, I'm glad I spent the time to, you know, took the time to check this out. You know, so that's all I'm hoping is people give me, you know, at least that little moment of their time to be able to spark their interest towards this whole album, Comfortable Swag. And I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it is art. So you know, it's for me, it's not about units and selling a bunch of records. I mean, for me, it's more about my art. Like it's about finishing an episode in my life and then being able to turn it over to the people that care the most, you know, about it, and sharing it with them. You know what I mean? We kind of have a vicarious. We live kind of like off of each other. You know, symbiotic.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's a give and
we
take.
do.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And I was just thinking that. It's funny you say that because I was just thinking, you know, you talk about the independent, you know, just how hard it is, especially, you know, with marketing and promotions, and just how, you know, technology has really changed that for all of us. And for us to be able to connect like this and to be able to support each other and the way that we do, you know, it's a beautiful thing. And
it is a beautiful thing, yeah. I mean, I remember being back on the labels, you know, 10 years ago, and, you know, them just having the technology, you know, just getting to the technology where they would hire these, you know, these companies to kind of promote, you know, I would go to an office, and they just put me on the phone and I'd be there all day long. I'm talking about from 7 in the morning until 7 at night, doing just interviews, and it's all like, you know, they have it all programmed where it's like, you know, syndicated all around the world, you know. So at the end of the day, you've done the entire world, man, and it's like,
wow.
You know, that was back in the day, man, when they, you know, when I was on the major Epic records and stuff, but you know, these days, man, to be able to be doing this stuff myself and to be able to know all the inner workings of how, you know, how a video is shot and how a video more or less is, you know, can even come together, you know what I mean? Every instance. I mean, I used to be the type of artist that would always ask questions, and that, you know, I cared about all that stuff, but I never really got my hands all the way into the business like with this album. And after having a couple of albums of mine go under the radar and being on the major label, I felt like it was only right to do this at least one time in my career, you know. And I don't know if it's going to be just one time. I mean, I may continue to do an independent situation. I'm just really kind of waiting to see what happens, and I'm just so thankful for all the support I've gotten thus far, man, on this album. Though I really am. It's been an amazing ride, and it's not stopping, man. I'm booked clear, you know. So it's solid. You know, my schedule is solid, and that's I got to be grateful for that. You know what I mean? To just have everyone's interest still. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. We definitely gonna, you know, continue to support you, and you know, I know you were here. I missed it. I'm so upset. You were at BB King's, I believe, you know, a couple weeks ago. No, maybe that was a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was months and months ago. But I mean, well, not months and months, but it was an amazing weekend. We did Marcus Garvey Park, and that was just, I mean, that was my, I think, like, second time doing that. I know it was my second time. I don't know if it was my third time or my second time. I think it was my second time doing that. And it was 7,500 people that showed up, man, for a free show. Summer series in the park, man, it was amazing. I mean, it was just the most we've ever had show up. You know, of course, it was myself and Jagged Edge, but I mean, usually, you know, and the BB King show was just as, like, I mean, it was packed, it was to capacity, and they had to turn a bunch of people away. Actually, I heard. So I was just really, really complimented by the whole trip, and I was just like, man, so encouraged to just kind of know that New York is really, you know, my New York audience is not going nowhere. It's solid. Like, I just need to keep making music and keep it consistent. Now that that's the most exciting thing, is that now that I'm independent, I'm sort of like the foreteller of when I can put records out. You know, I don't have anybody sort of standing in the way. I just want to make sure that everything I do is just as of quality as, you know, everything else that I've done. I want to stay consistent with my, you know, my track record.
Well, yeah, I mean, you are absolutely, you know, definitely, you know, this new project is right on point, and I'm really excited about everything you got going on, and excited to have you back. Well, excited that you're here with us, you know, again, and you know, as you can see, we're all really excited and ready to embrace you. I've gotten so much feedback, and people just excited, you know, about your new music. So
thank you.
It's good, and you're welcome.
Yeah, well, I mean, whenever you can, check me out live. I'm sorry that you weren't able to make the last show, but you know, the live thing for me really is so amazing now. You know, to be able to sort of celebrate all the different years now, and you know, the albums, of course, but now it's been some time now, you know, enough time has passed where, you know, we're almost getting up there towards 20 years now, you know, so it's kind of feeling like, wow, it's kind of feeling like there's no more, you know, sort of saying goodbye to all of the adolescent stage of my life, you know, all the little, you know, sort of the goofy years, I call them the goofy years, when I was still learning what swag was, you know what I mean? I was so young and getting into this game, 18, 19, you know, I just had all the ambition and the passion, you know, that somebody should have at that age. But, you know, you grow to refine yourself, and it's nice to be able to see how I've grown. You know, even for myself, just performing all the songs. You know, from "Someone to Love" with Babyface to "Are You Still Down" with Tupac to you know, to "They Don't Know" to "Don't Talk," you know, it's just to the modern music, you know, that I'm doing now. You know what I mean? It's a celebration, man. It really is. So I really encourage anybody, you know, out there who's missing a good live show. When you see me in your area, definitely holler. You know, definitely come out.
Yeah, man. I know the fans probably be going crazy when they hear those joints, you know, because you definitely, especially, you know, all the collaborations you've done. Now, I have really one question that I really wanted to know, you know, about the "Are You Still Down" and Pac. I mean, that was real big, man. That was real big because I think that was, you know, like a big hip hop crossover. You know, and
that was a huge move for me to make, you know, as far as in my career, you know, that being one of the most successful singles I had. You know, we put that out right along with "They Don't Know," but it was never my intention to make that a single after my man passed, you know, because we did that song 2 weeks before he passed away. And he was, you know, we were together in the studio. We rocked together, you know, studio, you know, wrote the song together, you know.
Wow.
We had a really amazing time, you know, in the studio working, and you know, it was really a bittersweet kind of thing because, you know, it's just, you know, I didn't really want to feel like I was shining on them, you know, on a man's death. You know, it was such a sad instance that a lot of me felt like, you know, I needed to just kind of like let people find out about that. You know, I didn't really want the labels to just go hard with that. So what ended up being the case that we did was the record got leaked, so we kind of got forced to put the record out. So what they did was they put it on the we did what's called a double A side, where we with that we put They Don't Know and Are You Still Down on the same CD, and it was a single. And I remember I sold like probably 2 million of that single alone. Just so yeah, I mean that was my most successful record to date, and so that being the case, I feel like, hip-hop wise, Tupac was, don't need to say, needless to say who he was for hip-hop, but him blessing me like that right before he passed was such a huge, a huge thing for people to sort of see, and then I think that allowed people to look upon me, with new eyes, with sort of like the same eyes that Tupac saw me. Obviously, they were relating to me in a different way since they heard Tupac sort of, show that love, and that camaraderie was all over the record, man. You can hear, you can't fake that kind of camaraderie. I mean, that was me looking at him and, through the booth, like, rocking, like nodding my head, like what, like, you know what I mean, like, so that you can't fake that kind of stuff, man. So that's pretty special to be able to have that record, though. I will say that the music lives on. So I'm definitely honored to have that experience. Yeah,
and that's wow, that's wow. I just can't imagine. Especially after what happened, what that moment must have felt like for you, and it comes through on that record, man. That record is crazy. That record.
Well, what's special now is like to be able to rock it now, like as a grown man, because I cut that record when I was 21. Wow. I think I had just turned 21, so I was just legal. You know what I mean? And as far as like being able to go out to a bar and be able to be legal finally, even though I had been, doing that because I was doing music illegally, like funny enough, but what's so crazy is that I was coming into my manhood, you know what I mean? I was coming into being a man, and to be able to have that sort of, like, I always call him my guardian angel, Pac, is sort of that guardian angel. I look at it because, right away, to kind of go from knowing somebody to having them be taken like that is like, it's really heavy to understand that, and then, and then to sort of have to be by myself in the video and pouring the bottle out, like, for a homie, and then to actually, we lost Johnny J, the producer of the track, not too long ago, and it's just the whole thing about that song itself. It just has such a deep, rooted element to me as a person personally, as well as just the whole, the way that it affected the world, the way that it affected my career. That it's just, I performed that song with a whole kind of, it's a different kind of element. It's usually more towards the opening part of my set, but it's just kind of like a way of kind of like just cleaning the slate. Like, I don't care what the vibe is, where we're at, what state, what country, man. As soon as we do Are You Still Down, people are like, oh, yeah. I remember that one. I know this one,
Yeah.
So that's what's up. I'm grateful for that.
A joint right there, man. It's powerful, and I think it's gonna be powerful. It's timeless. What a lot of most of your music is. I would say all of it is. Honestly.
Thank you. Well, there's those certain joints that when I hear a Marvin Gaye album, or I hear a Smokey Robinson album, or I hear a Michael Jackson album, there's always going to be those certain joints that stick out that you just go, man, this is my song right here. And, you feel the whole album or whatever, but, there's always those joints, and I feel like that's what's so special about music is that, sometimes, I have the type of fans that always point out the songs that I don't expect them to point out on the album, and that makes me happy too as well, because that makes me know everyone's really listening. They're out there, paying attention. So that's really rewarding at the end of the day. Makes me want to go back and write another song.
I think it's that. I just want to go back to that sincerity, that you have, that I think is so important, and that's what comes through your music. So as long as you just, stay true to yourself and to the music that you make, you're always going to have a place, like I said, always in our hearts, and we love your music. I'm just thinking about like just all your joints and the way you finesse the tracks. Like
well, that's really half of it, and that's like I have a passion for the production of it, of all the music too. That's so, I really appreciate that people know that I'm more than just a singer. I'm a musician, and put a lot of time into the sculpting of the track, and making the track speak even before I even breathe on it. You know what I mean? The track's gonna speak to you.
Yeah.
I always like to let my tracks kind of breathe a minute before I write to them right away. And
that's true. I mean, a lot of people probably don't know, but I dabble a little bit.
Okay.
In music. I sing la 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 every now and then, and I've done that, and I can tell, when you do it, you can really understand, an artist and a producer and everything that goes on, behind the scenes and all the, like you said, just everything you do in your music, little tricks here and there, or I won't call them tricks, but you know what I mean, just all the.
No, I got you. Yeah, all the little elements of it. It's all the different elements. Yeah.
Yeah, people don't even realize.
I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, when you're listening, you're hearing, your atmosphere is being sort of like it's coming through the speakers. Music has a way of being able to change the way you feel. So it's like, hopefully people can, put my music on in any instance, and it'll make them feel. It'll change the mood. If not change the mood, it'll just go right along with the mood. I feel like people know kind of like what they're gonna get by now with me as far as the type of music and the type of moods that I try to set for people. So I really, I'm encouraged right now. It's the biggest thing is, as I'm interested. I'm still interested in doing my music. I'm still hungry. I'm still treating like these albums like they're episodes, and in a movie or in a movie series or something like that. The movie of my life, I guess. But it's really still very, very. It's not a narcissistic thing. It's a passion for music, and it's I know my hardcore fans and the people that have been listening since 1995 know what's up,
Yep. Hell yeah. We have, man. And like I said, we gonna stay down. We're gonna always be down. So, I definitely appreciate you coming on tonight and, spending a little extra time with me and us and sharing your life with us, your music. Like I said, I'm always going to be a fan, and I appreciate what you do. So when you're in the studio or wherever you are or whatever you're doing, just, remember that, we appreciate you, and there are those of us out there who are going to continue to support you, and make sure, go cop it. I'm going to cop it in just a minute. Haven't been able to do it yet. Y'all go cop that comfortable swag. You can get that on JonBWorld.com, on iTunes. We got to make sure we continue to, support our artists that we want to continue to make music. So
that's real.
Make sure. So now tell the people, where I know you said it before, but it's not gonna hurt to say it again.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, I with the Twitter, I'm at official Jon B as far as the Twitter and the Facebook. You know, you can get at me as well as you know. Actually, the beautiful thing about JonBWorld.com is it kind of interlinks everything. So if you go to my website, it'll just kind of let you know everything that's going on in my career, from my tour schedule to all the videos. You can actually check out my latest videos and some of samples of all of my albums, my whole discography, man. So it's a beautiful thing. The website's a beautiful thing, and actually it's being updated as we speak now. So it's going to be even doper pretty soon. I'm really excited, and we're actually talking about shooting a live DVD that we're trying to put out soon, because I've never had a live performance DVD, even though there's a million YouTube clips you can probably find of me out there. But I mean, not a proper live DVD joint, you know what I mean? So I'm working on that. And Jay, man, just, you know, Nia B, thank you so much for having me and taking your time, and your questions were dope. And you know, you're such a sweet person. All your comments and you know, everything was very humbling. So I'm humbled, and I appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, man. Thank you. You know, like I said, you're welcome to come back anytime. Definitely family. And I also want to let people know that, you know, I put it on my website at NeeBradio.com. You guys can buy his album there as well. So go there. And, you know, also on the website, Nia B Radio Show, you guys can listen to the music. And like I said, we have to continue to support those artists that we want to continue, those people that we want to continue to, you know, grow and make good music. So I'm going to get on this comfortable swag. Like I said, I know I don't have a lot of time, but I know you got to go. But I want to get this comfortable swag on. Is there anything you want to tell us about this joint right here, real quick, before you go?
What's that song? What are you listening
Comfortable
to?
Swag. Yeah.
Comfortable Swag. Oh, okay. Yeah, Comfortable Swag is, man, that's like, I think that's me showing my roots in R&B, or my roots in dance music. You know, with all the dance music that you have coming out right now, you know, R&B sort of dance music that, you know, Chris Brown, Usher, Neo, everybody's, you know, on that right now, and it's been like that for a minute now, that I kind of wanted to give you my take of it, you know, in 2012, and I came up with, you know, in the 80s, obviously, you know, I was born in the 70s, but, you know, came up in the 80s, and it was a great time, and I felt like there was a lot of elements, like artists like Patrice Rushen, and, I mean, artists like, the SOS Band. I mean, there's so many different groups, groups like Chic. I mean, there was just a certain groove element that our music in the 80s had. With the bass line was so important, you know, and you could just have like even just a stomp and a clap in the bass line, and you know, it was just then even like Michael Jackson, like early Michael Jackson, you know, groups like Heat Wave, you know, like that's very inspirational. And so all that being said, I wanted to kind of give you a little taste of like what's going on in my head when it comes to dance music. And so Comfortable Swag is my way of kind of, you know, doing that. At the same time, the song is talking about, you know, the lyrics are about basically a girl who's coming in, or someone basically who's coming into the club, and they're with their significant other, and you know, that person's just not paying them any attention. You know, they're just taking for granted, you know, what they have, and you know, it's just the kind of thing where, you know, it's sort of like what the music can do to you is make you feel so comfortable that you forget about your problems, you forget about who you're with. You know what I mean? And and you end up losing yourself in the music.
Yeah,
and so that's really what the theme is for the song Comfortable Swag. So, and the video tells a whole nother story. It kind of gets even deeper. I really love the contortion, the girl with all the contorted moves. Like I really, it's very fashion. It's very fashion, like fashion for me. It's like, it's very like, you know, because I'm into fashion. I'm into, you know, as I've always been into fashion. I think I've shown that through the years. But I mean, in terms of like little doses, like part of me kind of has always been sort of like just that that kid who wants to be a kid, and at the same time I kind of slash grown man. Now that I am a grown man, I'm not 18 trying to look like a grown man. It's like it's cooler to wear those clothes and to kind of be into fashion and stuff now. I think it's a little more kind of goes with the territory, So in this video, it's very fashionable. I mean, we brought the zebra head into it. That was an idea. The mask actually, that was sort of like, it was representation of being like a party animal. How there's this inner party animal inside this girl that wants to come out, and I'm sort of the element of surprise that she doesn't expect, and all of a sudden, because her man's obviously leaving her at home. She's kind of like just with a bottle of champagne, just pissed, and just hot and bothered, So the video was kind of telling that,
Well, I think the song, it definitely, goes with the, with the whole vibe, and I feel like I could definitely see you on the runway. We just had New York Week. I could definitely, see you.
I don't know about the runway, man. Unless I was a designer of the clothes or something. I don't know about modeling and stuff like that. I've never really thought about it. I mean, because of the fact of like taking pictures has always kind of ran with the territory of being an artist. That I looked at models and said, and I just have a lot of respect for how they know they know themselves in a different sense,
right.
Like a vocalist or a producer or visual artist. They we all have our different talents, and I give, like, actors have their own talent. Models they have a different sensibility about it. What I do is just kind of like take a bunch of pictures and we pick the best ones, man. Like we do. We hope that they're the best ones. We hope that they do us a little justice. That's what's real. Like, and thank God for in a lot of senses, like editing, Photoshop and all that. Thank God,
Thank God for that. I know. But I still think that you'd be dope on the, on the runway. Sometimes fashion designers, they have celebrities who walk, in the.
I've done it before. I would definitely. I would, for the right instance, that would be dope. Like, I have a lot of respect for an artist like Kanye West, who's been able to make such an impact in fashion as well as his music, just by the way he dresses, and I think a lot of people are following Chloe very closely. I think he sort of is the epicenter for men's fashion, as far as like someone that kind of people are paying attention to. You know what I mean? Like, what are people dressing like right now? Looking at Kanye, and some of it, what he wear might be too much for people or whatever, but my thing is, like, he's definitely got his finger on the pulse of what's new for men's fashion, as well as just him being a mogul in music. So it's nice to be able to see the two, because they do run really close together. I mean, it's like,
true.
I don't dress up to think, oh man, when somebody sees me in this, they're gonna just think, oh, he looks dope. It's not about that's how I feel. Like that's what comfortable swag is all about. It's like, it's a feeling, It's like that's what hip hop really is. It's always been to me is your self expression and just your own swag, your own way of being able to. Why do you put on those shoes? Why do you put on that shirt?
Right.
So
and
yeah,
you're right. And as you get older, you get more and more comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
More and more like, you're not dressing to really
My point
impress.
exactly.
Yeah, you just dressing because, hey, I just gonna put this on. I look good. I feel good, and you're comfortable in your skin.
This is how I feel today. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, this is how it is right now, and so hopefully, that people feel that coming through, and man, once again, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
man,
I know.
Questions and everything. No, it's
I'm
love, man.
You know, comfortable swag for the people. Like I said, I thank you so much. I know I extended my time, but I hope you have a good night. And
you too,
yes, you're welcome back anytime. And yeah, make sure you guys check him out. I know October 7th you're performing, but y'all can check him out on Twitter. Keep up with that info. And thank you so much, Jon B, for joining us tonight.
Absolutely, love. Thank you for having me. God bless everybody, and I'll see you soon. Check you out.
Okay.